Welcome to r/slash idontworkherelady, where we share stories about normal people who are actual customers that are mistaken for employees at that establishment. This is TNA, top-notch audio. Get ready for some laughs. And at the end of these stories, we definitely appreciate your likes, comments, and definitely subscribe for sure. And this story is posted by u/average_pp. My dress shirt got me fired and almost kicked out of a college club fundraising banquet. This story takes place at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor during the 2015-2016 winter season. My childhood best friend invited my girlfriend and I to come visit him in college for a weekend. He moved into an apartment-style dorm by North Campus at the beginning of that school year. Courtyard for those familiar. His apartment had some space in the living room, which made it easy for people to come visit and stay overnight. The trip itself was amazing. We caught up on a lot of lost time, toured the school, downright beautiful, by the way. Sorry, not sorry, Michigan State. Went out to a couple of places on Liberty Street, got wasted at a couple of house parties. My girlfriend had a blast, and we even bought some Michigan hoodies as souvenirs at the Den store. I only wish I tried harder in high school so I could have gone there for engineering. But I digress. The main reason why we came to visit was to attend a fundraising dinner for the Michigan Polish Student Association. My friend and I are Polish. We both were part of Polish student clubs at our schools, and we would march together during the Chicago Polish Independence Day parade every year. This particular year, his club reserved a room at the Palmer Commons. It looked like any typical banquet hall filled with tables, a couple of projector screens, and a DJ booth with a big dance floor in the middle. The dress code for the event was formal: dress shirt, pants, shoes, belts, and ties. I decided to wear a black shirt with thin white vertical stripes, black pants, and a black belt. Didn't care for a tie. People sat down, the club leaders welcomed everyone, talked about the club, school involvement, thanked and honored key contributors, presented the charity they were fundraising for, blah, 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 and then everybody clapped. Throughout the event, servers brought out meals and water to the tables for guests to enjoy while they were pretending to pay attention. At some point, my girlfriend noticed that all of the servers just so happened to be wearing black dress shirts with thin white vertical stripes, black pants, and wait for it, black belts. You can probably guess where this is going. She got my attention, pointing out the matching outfits between me and the staff, and we laughed it off as some funny coincidence. Someone at our table even made a joke that I should get back to work and take their dirty plates back to the kitchen. We left it at that and didn't think much else of it. For context, there were maybe 20 to 30 plus staff members working around the room. Big event, maybe 200 plus guests. Most staff were students themselves working part-time to fund their college shenanigans. Apart from the 10 to 15 servers that had assigned tables to serve food to, the majority of the staff collectively handled water jugs, bus tables, and cleaned wherever needed. I doubt they paid enough attention to know everyone working that night, and given the extremely unlikely odds that I was wearing the exact same outfit as them, made it very easy for staff to assume that I was one of them. Also, FYI, the school club handled the check-in process and seating assignments for the event. The service cleaning was handled by the school's facilities department or whatever. Bottom line, there was an apparent disconnect between the club and staff on knowing who was and who wasn't a guest. No one wore name tags, wristbands, etc. Anyways, turns out some of the servers saw me sitting at a table, assumed I was part of the crew, and thought I decided to stop working to enjoy the event. It got to the point where servers would give me weird looks as they laid the plates down at our table, but they didn't confront me or say anything since it wasn't their place to do so. Oh, but they definitely made sure to point it out to the managers, multiple times by multiple staff members. At some point, between the main course and dessert, while another speech was being given out in the background, someone came up from behind me and placed a hand on my shoulder. Before I had a chance to turn around and react, a male voice said, "I need you to get up and step outside into the hallway with me right now." His hand slid down to my arm to get a decent grip, and I decided to get up and go along with it. I wasn't too surprised that this was happening, given the circumstances explained above. We've been treating this as a coincidental joke the whole time, so I thought it was kind of funny that I got the attention of the managers. I'm 6'2", and he was about 5'7" or so with a slim build. It looked like I had about 40 to 50 pounds on him, so I didn't feel uncomfortable with the way he was trying to handle the situation. To him, I probably looked like some tall, thick college bro that screws around all the time. I figured at most I would need to explain that I am not a staff member, show my ticket for the event that was in my jacket pocket hanging on the chair, and sit back down and we all laugh about it. No harm, no foul, right? Nope. He pointed me to the nearest door and let me lead the way out into the hallway. I figured I should just wait until we are in the hallway to calmly explain the situation and not cause a scene in front of other guests. I didn't grab my ticket or jacket in time, but whatever. I'm sure he will give me a chance to show it to him while we talk. My friend/girlfriend thought this was freaking hilarious that this was happening and assumed I would be back in a minute. We made our way to the empty hallway and the manager shuts the door behind us. All doors had to be closed during the event to keep the noise inside. I asked him to let go of my arm and he does. Again, before I had a chance to say anything and without skipping a beat, he starts blaring. I don't know who the hell you think you are, and I don't know what to cross your mind to think that on your first shift you can decide to take a break and engage with the guests. Sir, please let me. I don't give a crap what your stupid excuse is. It's common sense that staff don't sit down with the guests and engage with them. I don't care if this is just some part-time job for you while you're studying. I can replace you with 5 more students tomorrow for all I care. You show nothing but laziness, disrespect. During his rant, I noticed a campus security officer turn a corner and walk towards us. Oh, you got to be effing kidding me. The manager keeps going on his rant, again, not letting me speak for myself. When the officer was standing next to us, he gives his big punchline. No, you're done. Fired. I don't want you in this building. I'm going to put a word in with the school and have you barred from working another campus job. You're going to end up explaining to your family why you couldn't last a single shift. Big oof. The officer takes his cue and starts to escort me to the nearest exit. The manager watches us until we turn the corner and goes back inside. I began explaining the situation to the cop from start to finish. At first, he didn't want to believe me and thought I was trying to con my way out of trouble. Eventually, he let me return to the room to grab my ticket along with my DL to match the names on both and prove that I'm just a guest. Some more talking later, and after my friend/girlfriend vouched for me, the officer let me be and went off to talk to the manager. I assured the cop that I didn't feel the need to press charges and we sat back down. Everything went by normal. We decided to go out and drink once the formal speeches and food service was over. We came back again the following year for another weekend of fun with another banquet night. I made sure to bring a shirt no service worker would wear. Thankfully, the next banquet was in a different building on campus. I don't know what, if anything, happened to the manager. Probably nothing. I didn't care about pressing charges or making a scene. I just like being able to tell this interesting story. U of M is still better than Michigan State. And this next story is posted by you/impossibly salad. He waited in line for this ridiculous flex. I'm an author on a book tour. I'm in a big chain bookstore, sitting at a table with a stack of my books in front of me and beside a 7-foot tall reproduction of my book cover. I'm chatting with someone while signing their book, and there are 3 people in line behind them. It's my first book, so 3 people in line is huge for me. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and I'm working my hardest to make sure everyone is having a great time, and they mostly are. Mostly. I start to pick up an impatient vibe from the man at the end of the line. He is kind of huffy, looking around a lot, and keeps trying to make eye contact with me as I'm writing a somewhat lengthy dedication for the person at the front. The front person asks if we can take a photo together. I say, of course, because I am so not used to anyone wanting to take a picture with me, and I'm totally an attention hog. This really sets Grumpy Man off. Really? He barks. I'm trying my best not to be mad at Grumpy Man because he's in the line to buy my book. Maybe he's had an awful day. Maybe he's late for dinner. Maybe his parking meter ran out 5 minutes ago and he has so many parking tickets that they'll tow his car. Who knows? So I asked the other people in line if it's okay for this gentleman to jump ahead since he seems to be pressed for time and everyone is cool with it. I motioned for him to come on up. He plops a bag down on the signing table, pulls out 3 copies of Geddy Lee's Big Book of Bass, and says, I need to return these. Oh no. I put on my best apologetic smile. I'm so sorry for the confusion, I say, gesturing at my stack of books and a giant sign beside me. I'm the author of this book, and I'm here to sign copies of it today. Do I look like I care? I need to return these, he shouts. For sure, I get that, I say, but I just don't know how I can help you. I don't work here. I'm just visiting the store to sign my book. I point towards the cash desk about 20 feet away and say, I'm sure that the awesome people who work at this store will be happy to help you. I stood in this line. I need you to help me, he snaps. I'm pretty convinced that he's not listening to me. I'm so sorry about that confusion. It makes sense. There was a line of people. You figured it was a line for the cash, and you stood in it. But it turns out it was a line to get my autograph. The good news is that there's no line at the cash. I point again towards the actual cash. The other people in line are having a great time watching this show, and a few people have come creeping over from the coffee shop attached to the bookstore to get a better view. Cut out this author BS, shouts Grumpy Man, and get me your manager. I stand up very slowly. I pick up a copy of my book from the stack and flip to the About the Author page. I hold it up beside my face and make the same smirking grin that I'm wearing in the headshot printed in the book. This visual aid seems to have worked because Grumpy Man grabbed his 3 copies of Geddy Lee's Big Book of Bass and toddler stomped his way over to the actual cash. And this story is posted by u/fuzzy106. I used to work here, lady. Background. I used to work at a convenience store in my college days, one famous for its particularly frozen slurpable drinks. We were located just off a major highway in South Florida, so we got a ton of traffic day in and day out with plenty of regulars each day. I worked there for a few months until a string of robberies started happening at various convenience stores in my area. To paraphrase Will Smith, one convenience store got hit too close to men and my mom got scared and said, "You're quitting that job and finding a different one." Much as I loved that job and hated quitting, my mom was right, and the store did wind up getting robbed about a week later after I left. Nobody was hurt, though. I left on good terms with my boss and coworkers, though. Found a job at a local grocery store shortly after that. The story. After class one day, I decided to pop into my old store for a drink and some snacks. Bear in mind, I was wearing a red and black polo that looked distinctly different from the store uniforms, but used the same basic color palette. I was rather chatty with the clerk while I did my shopping. I set my snacks on the counter, then walked over to the drink dispenser, grabbed a cup, and before I could turn the nozzle to start pouring that half-frozen delight, I hear the familiar call of the wild Karen behind me. Karen. Excuse me. Me. Yes. Karen. Can you pour me a large red one? Me. I guess. I poured her one and started pouring one for myself. Karen. And I need some taquitos and some scratchers too. Me. Cool. Sounds like a fun afternoon for you. Karen walks off to go grab something, and I head up front to wait for my cashier buddy, Jeffrey, to finish ringing up a customer so I can also check out. A few seconds later, Karen steps up and stares at me for a minute. I felt her eyes on me and asked her politely, "Yes, ma'am?" Karen, I thought I told you I wanted taquitos. Me, yeah, and scratchers. And? Karen, aren't you going to get them for me? Me, no, I can't. Karen, what do you mean you can't? Me, I'm not allowed back there to handle the food or the lotto. You have to wait for him, points at friend, to check us out first. Karen, excuse me? I'm a paying customer and I'm in a hurry. You work here, so I take priority over you. Me, huh? I don't work here. I'm also a customer and I got in line before you. Karen, don't lie. I know you work here. I've seen you stocking shelves. Me, oh, I used to work here a while back, but I quit some time ago. Maybe that's why you recognize me. Karen, very funny. Now quit being lazy and do your job. It's bad enough you're lying, but you're not even smart enough to realize you're wearing the uniform, so I know you're lying. Me, irritated at this point. Really? Of the two of us, who's the smart one? Look at my shirt and compare it to his. Do you see the style difference and lack of a company logo? Karen looks back and forth between me and Jeffrey, who's trying really hard not to laugh at my situation. We had a brief exchange of looks between us where I asked him to help me out, and he basically said, "Hell no, this is too funny." After a few seconds, Karen gets flushed, clearly embarrassed. Karen, oh, you don't work here. Me, ding, 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 we have a winner. Karen, well then, why did you give me my drink when I asked you? You're just confusing people now. Me. No, I'm a nice person, and I helped you because you asked for it. You're clearly not, since you lack basic manners to say please, thank you, or even apologize for the misunderstanding. Karen, at my friend. Why didn't you say something then? Jeffrey. You kept yelling. I couldn't get a word in edgewise, and he can handle himself. Karen goes quiet and sheepishly asks my friend to get her taquitos and lotto scratchers, which he does while clearly suppressing a grin after finishing ringing me up. I grab my stuff and hauled off to the side. The register was right near the door, so I'm waiting there. Karen pays for her stuff and tries to walk past me, avoiding eye contact. Just as some final salt in the rudeness wound, I opened the door for her as she left and said after her, "You have a nice day now, ma'am." After Karen got in her car and pulled out, my friend doubled over in laughter at my situation. I threw a Twinkie at his head for not helping me out, then demanded a free taquito and my best imitation of Karen for the inconvenience. Jeffrey, if you're out there reading this, you're an a-hole and I miss you. Hope everything worked out for you. Thank you all for listening. We definitely appreciate it. 3 funny and amazing stories. Definitely, we appreciate your comments below. Like, subscribe for sure if you haven't already. And we look forward to you viewing more videos that we post in the future. This has been TNA, Top Notch Audio. Have yourselves a great day.